Hey guys, welcome back to another video on some of the most common types of mistakes that we make in chess. And in this one, wanted to go over a common one that I'm definitely guilty of, as well as a lot of other chess players. So in this case, it would be not looking for the long range of each piece. And what I mean by that is sometimes we'll get caught only looking usually where the last move was played. So in this example, bishop e3 was the last move that was played. So only looking for maybe a couple moves around where the last move was played. But to really be a better chess player, we need to look at the full range of every piece, so especially those long range pieces. This can be a common pitfall. So we really need to look, even if there's some pieces in the way, we need to look at the full range of each piece. We'll see why that's important. So, this game, it was played in 1993 by Larry Christensen with the white pieces, and none other than legendary Anatoly Karpov with the black pieces. So after bishop f4 to e3, just getting this bishop out of harm's way, Karpov played bishop d6, and it turns out that this move is a big blunder. So if I let you pause the video, what could you come up with to utilize that long range? Okay, so if you locked in on the fact that both these pieces are unguarded, then if you came up with queen to d1, then great job. So queen d1 will attack both these pieces at the same time, and there's no way to guard both of them. So black could play, for example, bishop c7, queen takes h5, and Karpov didn't need to play this out to confirm that it was a losing position. So he sort of gave up right here. So that's our first example on trying to recognize the long range of each piece. So black could have played perhaps something else, not giving up the bishop, like for example, maybe bishop e7, something like this. Really anything that doesn't give up a piece that would definitely be better than what was played in the game. Okay, so moving on to our next example. White has seemingly a pretty good position here, and it looks like there's a lot of appetizing moves for white. Um, so in this case, maybe since there's two attacks on this knight and there's only one guard, white could think about bishop g6, hg6, queen g6, winning a pawn, but it turns out there's actually something better here. So if I let you pause the video, what could you come up with for the white pieces? Okay, so if you found either queen b3 or queen a2, then good job. For this video, we'll use queen a2 because we want to look at the long range, so it just fits a little bit better. So queen a2, and we can notice that any block that black has is really no good. Knight d5, queen will just take, and then they're in the same predicament. For rook e6, then queen will just take, and they're in the same predicament. If king f8, then just queen f7 will checkmate. So that's why king must go to h8. And then if you saw a follow-up here, then good job. So knight f7 is another forcing move. Black only has king g8, that's their only reply. Then we can use this double check idea. Knight h6, giving the double check, so black cannot capture because they're still in check from the queen. Again, king f8 is going to run into queen f7 checkmate. So that's why king h8. Then we see the reasoning behind this little boogie dance with the knight. Seems like this move is crazy, but queen g8 wins. So queen g8, important that we have this knight on h6 so that king cannot capture on g8. We'll see why that's important in just a second. So it doesn't matter what black plays. If they have rook taking on g8, then knight f7 will give the checkmate. And similarly, if knight takes on g8, then again knight f7 is a checkmate. So no matter what, white is going to win here, and they're going to use this long range move. So most likely black beforehand, they need to do something to intercept this long diagonal, or at least give the king another flight square, or guard one of these key squares that black is going to have trouble on. This is actually a fairly common pattern, so this is definitely a good one to know and you only need a queen and a knight and open diagonal to do this in most cases. So definitely a nice pattern to know here. Moving on to our last example, we have what we call Philidor's position. In this case, it's black's move, but they don't want it to be black's move. Black wants it to be white's move in this position, because if it were white's move, then they would need to bring their rook to an unsafe square. You'll see that some moves, like for example, if it were white's move, then king c1 wouldn't work because queen a3 would be really good. So if I let you pause the video, could you come up with a sequence in which you could force it to be white's move instead of black's move? Okay, so if you found queen e4, king a2, queen a8, king b1, and then queen back to a4, then good job. So after doing this little boogie dance, then it's now white's move. And yet again, we can see that, yeah, king c1 is just no good because they'll lose their rook, and plenty of other moves are just no good here. For example, if we try rook e2, then there'll be other forks. There's just lots of reasons why a lot of these moves don't work. So for the purposes of this video, we'll just see the most resistant move, and that will be rook b8. So bringing it all the way down here, so super long range. And then black has to figure out a way to exploit this. So the white rook is pretty strong from the places where it can move, but if we'll notice, these could be some weaknesses for that white rook. So just sort of remember those circles for now. All those squares could potentially be bad spots where the rook might be lost due to a fork. Okay, so anyway, black will continue with queen e4 check, and then clearly king c1 would be bad because it just leads, there's actually a couple different checkmates, so that's no good. That's why king a2 is necessary. Then queen d5 check, king a1, and then if I let you pause the video, could you come up with a winning move for black? So it turns out in just 2 moves, they can achieve a winning position here. Okay, so very nice if you found queen h1 check. So queen h1, there's a couple different replies that white could play. If we have rook b1, then we have this really nice pleasing move, this long range move, literally the longest move that you could make. Queen goes all the way to a8 and gives a checkmate here. So that's the reason why king a2 needs to be played. And then coming back to this idea of where the rook is weak. So queen h2 check, and also notice that black has b2 covered, so rook b2 is impossible. So king b1, take their rook, and it's basically game over here. So there you have it. That's the importance of looking for the long range moves and making sure we don't fall victim to just sort of looking at sort of the short range of each piece. We really need to make sure that we're envisioning the full range of each piece and looking at the full board in our games. So if you found this video helpful, please give a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing that. And then down in the comment section below, let me know. Link me a game if there was something where you used a long range move to win, or if you missed an opportunity to use a long range move. I'd like to see those games. And then furthermore, if you have any other suggestions as to what you would like to see in the future as far as some of these chess videos, then let me know. And until next time, I'll see you later.